61 days back, when there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump, he survived that, fortunately. That led many to believe that this is going to be electorally his victory and he is going to be untouchable. However, following the debate with the President Biden later and his exit from the presidential race, things emerged differently. Kamala Harris got a very strong convention, surprisingly. And now this recent debate, there seems to have been a complete transformation. How do you reflect on it?
Thank you very much, Zanera. Definitely, I mean, Kamala Harris have changed the, I would say, the open one-sided election scenario for Donald Trump, and definitely at the moment she's looking very strong, especially after recent debate where she was completely dominating. And first time we have seen that Donald Trump was on a back foot, in terms of his policies, in terms of his plans to be, once he will be elected. So I believe that, I mean, that is the best thing which Democrats did by replacing Kamala Harris with Joe Biden. But I'll tell you, I mean, we cannot be very certain still what would be happening on the day of election in November, because there is a lot to go. There are still two possible debates are going to happen. Secondly, if you look at the Donald Trump's campaign, his campaign is very strong at the moment. He's very confident. Although we have seen some surveys, we have seen some exit polls where they are saying that Kamala Harris is leading now. But if you look at the other perspective, where Republicans are very confident that this is just a startup bubble for Kamala Harris. But as far as the continuity of, I would say, very strong campaign by Donald Trump is concerned, Donald Trump would have a very good chance still. Although we have seen that because of last 3 years what Joe Biden's policies were, and especially this is the first time, Zanera, that the international relations, the foreign policy has been discussed, and it has become very important. Prior to that, in American elections, I would say that foreign policy did not have that much importance.
It always takes a back seat.
Exactly.
Yeah, but not this
Definitely.
time. Well, let's get back to debate once again. She did a remarkable job this time around. Before that, she was avoiding the media. Let me be very clear here. And the only interview she had was with a very friendly journalist and TV channel. Looking at that, she provoked and poked Trump many times during the debate, but she also didn't come out very openly on the questions by the moderators relating to economy and abortion. And I was really surprised because the moderators did not even push further for an answer. So what is happening to the standards of debates in terms of how the media is regulating it?
Definitely. I was coming to that point that this is not that intense debate which we have seen in past at the time of
There was no audience as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was not that intense debate at the time of Al Gore, or then we remember when Bush was contesting. Then later on, we have seen
even
Joe
Obama.
Biden's, and then Obama. So at that time, the whole American, not only the whole America, the whole world was very much interesting to know what these presidential candidates have for the upcoming elections for the America and for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
This time, there are two problems. One, because Kamala Harris have all of a sudden become the candidate, so she did not have that much preparation in terms of their own, Democrats, voters and Democrats.
Let me hold you here.
As well.
You raised a very interesting point that Kamala Harris was not ready for this. My question remains that I keep on asking, and I will continue asking this till the elections. She was not a very popular candidate. She was looked at as someone who is in the shadow of Biden. Let's put it this way.
Yes.
Not many people know her personally. What's her personal story? Because that matters when it comes to the presidential election. All of a sudden, as she is centered as a presidential candidate, the polls start supporting her, the media starts supporting her. Doesn't it all look too artificial to you?
Definitely. If you look at Trump's few of his statements, that he has clearly said that I do understand that the whole media is is not impartial and they are biased towards Trump. Trump is very clear about his policies, and Trump is very clear his stance that the media, especially the big media houses like CNN and Fox News and other channels, they are not supporting him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so as a print media, whether it is a New York Times, whether it is a Washington Post, so I mean, if they are working on building a perception in favor of Kamala Harris, that is the one thing. But the reality is that I keep saying it, that we cannot have a fully judgmental about the results, whatever the polls are saying, because these polls are shown on those media channels where Donald Trump have all the doubts about them, and so as you and so as me.
Yeah.
So I believe that we have to see what the ground reality is. Ground reality is that Donald Trump is very popular. Ground reality is that Donald Trump has a very clear policy in terms of Ukraine-Russia war.
Yeah.
Donald Trump have very clear policy in terms of their health insurance.
Is that the exact threat, that the things are not moving in his direction, in his favor?
Yes, but
the
on
war
the other
industry,
hand,
I mean here.
Yes, Zunaira, it is always the case that Donald Trump likes to go against the wind. We have seen him. He likes to go for the popular politics rather than doing the politics which is
but
like
Dr. Hamid, it's fair. It's only fair to say that nobody wants the war. It's this hand-picked, selective, the mechanical side of the industry that supports the war for the strategic reasons, but at large, American people don't want a war. And this is a popular opinion, yes, but this is a realistic one as well.
Yes, that's why, Zunaira, I always say that the best thing about Donald Trump is he's doing the populist politics. He's doing the politics which has a large support from all representations of the society, whether they are black people, whether they are white supremacists. One thing they all concern is the falling economy of Americans, the mortgage crisis, then the employment crisis, then they look at the health crisis, then they look at the internal crisis. So when they look at that, they all understand that the wars are one of the biggest reasons which
the burden
America
on the
is
economy.
suffering. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And on the other hand, I mean, Trump has very clear policy towards China, towards Mexico border, again towards abortion laws, towards
he has rather, I would say, he has rather gone on the left side, I would say, from the Republicans.
Absolutely.
Because he is ready for IVF, he is ready for reproductive rights, so he has changed, and that too is a popular demand, so he is playing smart. So let's move on to the discussions and polls and medias and debates. Many people believe that no matter how much we rely on the debates and the polls, in the end, it all comes down to the 6 or 7 states. Do you agree to that?
Yes. Definitely. It is always very important to those 6 and 7 swing states. It's always depending on those. I mean, whether it is California, whether it is other states, this is very important. I always say that in American elections, the electoral system is always questionable. I mean, I have raised many questions about the electoral system anyway.
It is very confusing, and for a common man, it is so difficult to understand, I would say.
On top of it, to be honest, as a little bit expert of constitution and democracy, I don't believe it is on a very fair and transparency and democracy basis.
True.
So, because there are many discrepancies in its electoral method and electoral system. But anyway, they have to do it according to that. And that's why, I mean, Kamala Harris is very confident that she needs just a little bit swing, and she may be able to win the election. But at the same time, if you look at the situation, they don't want any repetition of the previous election, what happened, in terms of public protest and other things. So it has to be a clear mandate.
That is